Hello everyone, this is Kalo from Dojokhal, and this is a video demonstration on how to customize a new room or an existing room in the lobby belonging to the Scroll Hunt tenant at Dojokhal. So, what you first need to do, like after I will give you the admin access to edit a room, you're gonna find this button. Better do a hard refresh before you can find it, I think. It's database information, so a normal refresh should do it. You click edit room, and then you're gonna have this pop-up showing. You won't be having the delete button for security purposes because we don't want rooms and all our hard work gone just by a click of a button. Knowing that there is a confirmation model here, so yeah. Anyway, you're gonna be able to add rooms. For now, I'm just gonna switch room and go from the main lobby to the dungeon. And okay, so this is the dungeon. There are two navigation modes. There's the first navigation mode, which is just move the camera around. And to move the camera around, it's very important that you click this button. Very, very important. If you don't click this button, you're gonna find yourself, instead of moving the camera around, you're gonna find yourself breaking the objects. Because, like, if I okay, let me deactivate camera mode. I'm gonna show you a demonstration. So right now I'm in camera mode, and let's say I have the camera mode deactivated now, and instead I'm gonna try to move the camera around, like by hold click. I hold click and I move around, and instead of moving the camera around is the object that got moved. And trust me, you're gonna make this mistake a lot until I fix it. Until I fix it's not a matter of fixing, actually it's not really a bug, it's just a user experience. And in order to fix something that you break, because there's a real-time database saving as you make the modifications. Another thing that I can fix, because right now every modification you make is immediately saved in the server, in the database. And maybe I should add a button to like confirm or submit your changes. But then again, it's gonna it comes with a lot of complexities and not built for now, but I'll do it later. Anyway, if you break something like this, what you're gonna do is put back this crate in the correct X and Y coordinates. And for that, you need to select another crate. Like this one has the same Y coordinate. So I copy the Y, I go here past the Y. There you go, and it's corrected. And now it's the X that interests me. So I take the X of the one just above it or beneath it. Both go. And then copy past it. There you go. Done. Fixed. Alright, so I go back into camera mode, and in camera mode there are multiple things that I can do, like move around, zoom in and zoom out. Let's say, for example, I want to add an object. Say I want to add a trap. Like, adding a trap is pretty straightforward. I go and find the sprite that interests me. So I look up the sprite, I take the sprite and drag and drop it in the scene. Like, this is one way of doing it. Okay, another way of doing it is to actually take an existing object like this one. I deactivate camera mode again to be able to select something. Command C to copy it, and Command V to paste it. And then I take the object and drag and drop it like here. Okay, now if I take the previous object that I drag and dropped, I can edit the width, like say 50 and 50. Let's see how it looks. I think it looks fine. Now another thing to verify is whether it looks good enough in comparison to the character. Maybe it looks too big. In my opinion, it looks too big. Like 40-40 may do it. Alright, 40-40 is fine. Okay, so I go back to my object, and I deactivate camera mode. I take the object and I can put it somewhere here. Perfect. Now another important thing is to note is the difference is the two type of objects that you can drag and drop in the scene. There are or may I say two types of sprites, not objects. So there is a sprite of type ground and a sprite of type object. Why is this very important? It's because when you drag and drop a sprite, there's a decision that we should make. Should the sprite be shown in front or behind the character when the character moves in front or behind it? Now for ground sprites, they should always be shown behind the character because the character is walking on the ground. But for objects like crates, and I can show you it, I can make a demonstration here, but I hope that you get the point, like purely conceptually. Like for objects of type crates, like when the character is in front of the crate, the sprite of the character should show in front of the crate. If the character is behind the crate, then the sprite of the character should show behind the crate. Same concept applies to walls. For example, the sprite, the wall, is of type object, just so that the system behind the scenes can like calculate the difference between the Y positions of the character and the sprite itself, and then decide whether to show the wall in front or behind the character. This is very important. So I click the wall and you will see that it's a sprite of type object. I click the ground and it's a sprite of type ground. Very important when you drag and drop a new object like this one over here. I think it should be assigned as a sprite of type object, because we could have the character showing behind this trap that we set here. Alright, so that concept being clear, hopefully I can move on to something else. Now I do have a small problem, like this sprite of type object is showing somewhere behind this wall. Is because there's an algorithm behind the scenes that decides on which object to show in front of which other object, and is based on the position of the Y, on the Y of the Y. It's based on the Y position of the object itself. So yeah, by moving the Y of this object slightly at a higher value than the Y of this other object, then suddenly it now shows it now takes precedence in terms of draw order, or the Z index, as we call it in CSS. Okay, moving on to something else. Now the other very important concept to note is the types of elements. So yeah, okay, so there are 4 types of elements: colliders, zones, doors, and sprites. And okay, for the element of type sprite, we saw 2 types of sprites: ground and object. Now for other types of elements, colliders, like for example this wall over here has a collider. Why? It means that this collider is used. Okay, let me exit mode. I want to show you something. I think it's better to demonstrate. So if I go to the wall and I try to click this area over here, you'll see that my character won't be able to go past the wall, which is completely normal. It's because the wall has a collider. So yeah, I can't go here. Now you're gonna also observe the fact that when I go behind the wall, I am able to go behind the wall. It is because the collider of the wall has a very small height. And let me show you. If I go to the wall, you see this red zone over here? It is the collider. So usually when we talk about a wall, we talk about a wall which collider has the same height as the wall itself. This is not necessarily the case. It's because the mechanics are different here, and we should be able to walk behind the wall. So if I made the collider as big as heighty as the wall itself, I wouldn't be able to walk behind the wall like this. So yeah, this is a small detail that you should be noting, that you should note when you're creating or you're contributing to the lobbies. Okay, so now I can add a collider. Quick demonstration. You'll see that my collider is added in everything I add is automatically added here. What you can do is like copy paste an existing collider to not have to be moving around like this. So I take my collider over here, and I go back into camera mode. I zoom in, and now I can like edit my collider. Like I select my collider and I'm gonna make it slightly bigger. So yeah, something like this. I'm gonna go with 200, and I'm gonna go with something very small for the height. And I go back here and go back here. I select back my collider like this, and I do something like this. And I go with width even more, like 400, perhaps double the current collider. And then I move it slightly back here. 400 may be too much. I'm gonna go with something slightly smaller, like this. And there you go, I've got myself the collider. That's it, as easy as that, as easy as that. Okay, now moving on to something else, like that's, oh yeah. Sorry, I said we in French instead of saying it in English. I'm gonna select back my collider right here, and I'm gonna make it even smaller so that it resembles the collider on the right. I go back and select back my collider and put it slightly to the bottom like this. Alright. Salut, bonsoir. Alright, perfect. Sorry, some people just came in telling me goodbye because I'm still at work. And yeah, that would be the collider. And then the zones. Now, the zones, you're gonna see this is very intuitive. When you add a zone, it's gonna ask you multiple questions. A zone is basically an interactive place. So you can give it a name like this, any name, and then behind the scenes it's either an iframe or Grand Cosmetic or Grand Ninja item. For now, you don't really have to care about zones because you're not gonna make many interactable things, but the concept is basically if you configure a zone as an iframe, behind the scenes you're gonna have to give it a URL. It means that the character, when they click on the zone itself, they're gonna go towards the zone, and on top of that, once the zone is reached, we're gonna show an iframe to them, just like in the current clickable lobby object. The iframe is gonna show a preview of the target URL that we can configure here. Easy concept. Anyway, I'm gonna delete this zone for now. Yeah, this is important. If you want to delete something, you just scroll up. Make sure that you have the object selected, and click the trash button here to delete it. And then if I go for the doors, door is a kind of interesting or more difficult concept. So doors are portals that we can use between rooms. Let me add a door. To show you. So a door, obviously, you can change its dimensions. You can make it bigger. You can change its position, of course. And I'm gonna select the door here, and you're gonna see that the target room I can select. Like if I click the door as the player is gonna go towards the door, and once the door is reached, they're gonna change room depending on the target room that we set in place. But not only that, there is the spawn X and spawn Y. It means that when the player changes room and goes to the target room, the question to ask ourselves here is, at which position should the player be spawned? And this is the configuration for the target's position in the target room. That's it. Now I'm gonna delete the door because I am not interested in configuring a door now, because this place isn't ready yet, and after it becomes ready, we should go to the default lobby, configure a door there, and then come back here and configure another door here for players to be able to navigate between two rooms. Okay, that's it for now. Now, what else should I show you? So I explained the concept of zones, colliders, sprites. Now, if you want to add new sprites, for now, I guess it's better to reuse the existing ones that I already added. But if you want to upload more sprites, you can upload images here. Another way of adding a sprite is to simply click the sprite in question, because if I click the sprite like this, then automatically the sprite is added over here. You can change the dimension of the object, so on and so forth. But because I am not interested in this, in this addition, I'm just gonna re-click it to make sure that it's the one that I have selected, and click on the delete button, and it's gone. What else to show in here? I think that's it. That's it for now. I explained the colliders. I explained the interactable, clickable objects. Another thing that is worth noting is, some while ago I explained the concept of Z indexes or draw orders, and for sprites of type objects, you're gonna see that, like for example, if I select this one, there is a configuration here, which is the front threshold. What does this do? It's the offset or the Y index starting from which the character should start showing behind the object. Like if I walk up to an object, like if I'm gonna show you an example here. Like right now, you see that my character is being shown behind the wall. But if I walk in front of the wall, you're gonna see that my character is now currently showing in front of the wall. And I'm gonna show you another example here for the crate. Like right now, I'm being shown behind the crate. But at which point should the character start showing in front of the crate? This is the configuration, you see? This is the configuration that is being used here, and for now is given the height 70. So if you want to change this depending on the objects and geometry, you could do it over here. Here, that's it. I'm gonna be uploading this video. The builder is far from being is far from being complete. Please don't hesitate to ask for more features to make the building experience much better and smoother. And that's it. Thank you guys very much, and hope to see you soon at the dojo. See you.